Hello, my name is Stephanie Toman and I'm part of the DLC, Digital Literary Centre. So what I'm going to do on this video today is it's still for beginners in PowerPoint, and we're going to be looking at charts, tables and SmartArt. Okay, so continuing with the PowerPoint presentation slides, we're going to look at the organisational chart, creating a chart. It's all in section 4 of the manual. And we're going to do a quick import of a chart as well, even though that's not really in the syllabus. It's very useful to know. And it'll include a little bit of a look at tables, which is quite easy, and some SmartArt graphical designs. Okay, so the first thing we've got on our screen, as you can see, is it's an organisational chart. Click on it, click off it, you'll see that there's a pane come up. Notice also the two tabs at the top, and they're all to do with SmartArt tools. As you can see, there's your text pane, on, off, and then some other things that you might use here. You might use add below here. You've got add shape, drop down, add before, add above, add below, and I could do again, and you can see that how it works. Quite straightforward. Some other things in there though, if you just click on here, you can see the text is there. So if I did add something, but if I could put something in there, if I did want to type something there, I can either type it there or I can type it, carry on there. It doesn't really make any difference. But when it comes to the exam, one thing is they would expect you to put one in the first place, and the other thing is to actually do things to an existing one. So let's first of all look at how we'd insert an organisational chart. And it's not a chart, it is actually a SmartArt feature. So if we go to Insert and we look at the SmartArt alongside the chart, it's actually here. So think about it as a graphic rather than a chart. So then we go to the hierarchy, because it's a hierarchical sort of graphic. There's your organisational chart on the default, tells you what it does on the tin. Okay, and then it pops in, and then if we click in there and we have our test pane on, you can see that we can start to manipulate that chart. So I'll pop some names and things into this one. Some of the things you may be asked to do in an existing chart, you can notice that I've got my tabs on the top here. So like I did before, you could add below. You could delete this. If you click inside and hit the delete key, you'll delete the text. If you click on the border edge of the box and delete, you will delete it. If you click on the border edge of this box, demote this, you'll look into your design tab, and there's your promote and demote buttons there. So to demote, puts down, promote, brings them back up the hierarchy again. Okay, so be aware of those things in a chart. Also, if I click in here and I insert a new chart, notice on the title and contents, you've got this sort of graphics going on in the middle of that chart. But let's click that in. Notice here how this type of slide already has that feature in it. So this is another way of doing that SmartArt into the hierarchy, into there. Okay, so that's another way of bringing in, if you can't remember where to go for SmartArt, it's actually on a slide generally there. Okay, just delete that slide. The next one's about creating new, editing data and selecting data. So if we click this existing chart, if I double click it, nothing comes up. So it's been created just inside of this feature. You can see the design up here. So I could select data here or edit data. Let's try the edit. Editing data eventually will allow me to come into what's called a sort of an internal little spreadsheet that's built in that allows us to change things. So we could actually do a term 3, so we could add to this chart some extra details. we could put some figures in. And we could put in Excel as well. Let's bring in another, let's do 66, term 2, 40, 55. And in term 3, let's do 42. In order to include that data into the chart, we could drag the handles down so that it's over the term 3 and including the data we've just put in, and see how the chart changes. Series 3 doesn't exist, so we're going to pull that back over so it doesn't include it. Okay, so now we've got the correct chart that we want. And that's how you would change existing data. So they may bring a chart up in the exam that looks like this. And you can select data that way. And it brings up a way of taking series off or leaving data out, things like that. Or adding a new series. I might add a new series name. But in a sense, we don't need to go that far because we could just add it in here. So we could put in access. And we can start to put some data in there. And remember, the blue handle needs to come over to the full thing to get the whole thing to come up. Also, before we finish with this chart, let's just look at a couple of things that you can do with regard to labeling and looking at the different features. So if we click on the chart, this feature called chart elements, you can also find it in the tabs up here. There's your chart elements there. So, but it's dead easy here. If you click on there, you've got axis titles, which you could put on, and you can see it's ready for me to type something in. You can put in data labels, and you could put call outs, more options, whichever ones you want. You could take a legend off or put a legend on. So there's lots of things that you can do around these without going into it too much, and then you can put titles on, etc. So it's a really good way of labeling your chart. If we move on to the next chart, we've got, once again, remember how we clicked on the chart and we had the design and we had edit data. So remember we looked at it previously on the cones, how we included and removed data from a chart. You can see they've got a series there. So we could fill that series in if we wanted to. We could put, you know, like we did before, keep it simple, Excel and access. So now it sort of makes sense. We could remove term 3, so we could pull the handle off, so we don't no longer have term 3, and pull it back down again. So just keep reminding yourselves of those features. Before we could change, you notice how we have different colours. So if you want to change one colour bar series, you can just do a fill and change that one colour to the same colour there. Remember though, if you want to isolate a bar, you know, this one on its own, we have to click once for all handles, so you can see all the handles on Excel are that colour. Click again and it isolates just that bar. Then when you change the colour. Okay, continue with charts. We've got this chart object that you can insert either linked or embedded. It's not in the exam syllabus as such, but it is a really useful thing to know. So I'm just going to get rid of this chart that I've got in there. And I'm going to get the chart from the learning materials that you've got on the learning platform, or if you've downloaded them to your desktop for this. So I'm going into insert, I'm going to find the object area here. So embedded objects, documents, from other files, inserted. So I'm going to click on that, create from file, and I'm going to browse to the desktop to find the chart. There's the learning materials I downloaded from the learning platform, and the demo chart linked. So I double click on that. If I want it linked, in other words, if I want it to change in the original source, the spreadsheet, and I want it to change in the PowerPoint when I make changes, I make sure it's linked. If it's embedded, then only changes will happen in the PowerPoint. So give it a minute to come in, and you can see I can reduce its size, always from a corner to keep it in proportion. If I double click on it, it should take me back to the source because it's linked. Okay, so that's how we do that. Let's close that. Next one, the table. Very easy. Let's delete this table. Notice behind it you have the icons we talked about before and insert tables there. So you can put whichever tables you want in there. We can make it bigger. We can insert. We right click. You've got the option to insert and where you want to insert. You might have a column to the right. If it's a row, you would highlight the row. Oops, let's just make sure it stays highlighted when you do it. And then you've got your insert again, and you could have above. If you've got some text, as it demos in the presentation you can auto fit to make sure that it fits your text, and you can delete anything on a right click. There's your delete, and you're asking what you want to delete, and you just do that. Okay. If you want to change the design, lovely designs up here to make it look better for your PowerPoint. Okay, to finish up this section, we're just going to have a quick look at the SmartArt features, the graphics. So you can see I've got two examples here. If I click on them, then their text panes become available. Remember, you've got your SmartArt tools. There's your text pane. Remember that if you type things into here, they will appear on there. Okay, if I wanted to put another one in, use an enter, and I can add another one here. Same over here. If I decide to delete one out, oh, I've just got two. Okay, the way we can bring those in, remember, if I delete these, the whole thing on the edge, make sure you pick up the whole edge, it's quite difficult sometimes. You've got them through here, so we'd go into there, pick one of the ones that you wanted. We've got a nice one there. Okay, one in here, maybe to demonstrate something else, pyramid, complicated. And then you've got options to make them really nice using some of the features in the design tab if you want them to be colourful, and also if you want to change them. So you might decide to do a different type, like something like that. Okay, you've got lots of ways of doing things as well in there. Okay, so that gives you a quick idea about how to insert, edit and manipulate charts and graphics.